welcome to the slow world, where the world quiets down and nature tells its story. Settle in and allow the weight of the day to drift away. There is nothing you need to remember. Simply listen as we follow a year in the life of an old oak tree. The world is frozen, not in a sudden, violent snap, but in a slow, creeping, and profound stillness. Winter holds the land in its icy, silent grip. The days are short, the light is thin and pale, and the sun, a distant, cool orb, makes only a brief, low arc across the southern sky. In the heart of a sleeping forest, on a gentle slope overlooking a frozen meadow, stands an old oak tree. It is a giant, a patriarch of the woods, its trunk massive and gnarled, its bark thick, deeply furrowed, like the wrinkled skin of some ancient, sleeping beast. Its great, sprawling branches, now bare and dark against the grey winter sky, reach out like skeletal arms, a stark and beautiful silhouette. The oak is not dead. It is dormant. It is in a state of deep, profound rest, a winter slumber that is essential to its long life. Its life force, the vital sap that flows through its veins in warmer times, has retreated deep into its roots, far below the frozen surface of the earth, into the dark, secret places where the frost cannot reach. The tree stands silent, a stoic, unmoving witness to the winter world. Snow, fine and dry as sugar, has fallen for days, blanketing the forest floor in a thick, soft, white carpet. It has piled up in the crooks of the oak's great branches and clings to the rough texture of its bark, making the dark wood even darker by contrast. The world is a study in monochrome, the white of the snow, the grey of the sky, the black of the bare tree trunks. The only sound is the wind. It is a cold, sharp, and lonely sound, the voice of winter itself. It sighs through the oak's bare branches, a low, mournful hum, sometimes rising to a high, thin whistle as it finds a hollow in the wood. It carries the scent of ice and distant, frozen lands. Beneath the oak, the forest floor is a world of hidden life. Small creatures, mice, voles, and shrews, move in secret tunnels beneath the insulating blanket of snow, their tiny hearts beating fast against the cold. A fox, its winter coat thick and red against the white, trots silently through the woods, its keen ears listening for the faint sounds of movement beneath the snow. It pauses beneath the oak's great spread, its breath a plume of white mist in the freezing air, before moving on. The oak feels the weight of the snow on its branches, a heavy, cold pressure. It feels the bite of the wind, the deep, penetrating chill that seeps into its ancient wood. But it does not yield. It has known 1,000 winters just like this one. Its strength is not in resistance, but in acceptance, in its deep, patient endurance. Days pass into weeks, weeks into months. The winter sun offers little warmth. The nights are long and intensely cold, the stars brilliant and brittle in the black, frozen sky. Sometimes, an ice storm comes. Freezing rain falls, coating every branch, every twig, every dormant bud in a thick, clear sheath of ice. The oak becomes a crystal sculpture, a magnificent, glittering chandelier in the pale winter light. When the wind blows, The ice-covered branches chime against each other with a delicate, glassy music, a sound unique to the deepest heart of winter. The tree holds within its frozen wood the memory of summer, the warmth of the sun, the rustle of green leaves, the song of birds in its branches. These memories are a spark, a promise, a deep, unshakable knowing that this cold, silent season will not last forever. It waits. It endures. It dreams its slow, wooden dreams of the spring to come. Its roots, deep in the earth, are its anchor, its connection to the unchanging heart of the world. Winter is a time of profound rest, of gathering strength in the darkness, of silent, patient waiting. The old oak is a master of this art. It is a monument to stillness, a king in a frozen, sleeping kingdom. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the world begins to change. The shift is subtle, a feeling in the air more than a visible sign. The sun, though still low, begins to climb a little higher in the sky each day. Its light, for so long pale and thin, now carries a new, faint warmth. The iron grip of winter begins to loosen. The old oak feels this change deep within its ancient wood. It is a stirring, a signal, an awakening from its long, cold slumber. Deep in its roots, far below the still frozen surface of the ground, the stored life force, the sap, begins to move. It is a slow, imperceptible rising, a hidden current of life ascending through the trunk, up into the great, bare branches. The snowpack around the base of the oak begins to soften, to melt. The pristine white is stained with the dark, damp earth beneath. Small rivulets of meltwater, the first tears of winter, trickle down the slope, their sound a quiet, hopeful gurgling. The first new voice in the silent forest. The days grow noticeably longer. The air, while still cold, loses some of its sharp, biting edge. It carries new scents now. The smell of damp earth, of melting snow, of the promise of green things. On the oak's bare branches, a subtle transformation begins. The tiny, hard, dormant buds, each one a tightly packed miracle of potential life, which have endured the winter's harshest storms, begin to swell. They grow fatter, softer, their protective outer scales loosening, revealing a hint of the fresh, pale green within. It is a slow, patient unfurling, a quiet explosion of life in slow motion. The birds return. First, the hardy residents who overwintered nearby, the chickadees, the new thatchers, the woodpeckers, their songs becoming more frequent, more joyful. Then, the migrants, travelling thousands off miles on instinct and starlight, find their way back to these familiar woods. A robin, its breast a cheerful splash of orange, lands on one of the oak's high branches and sings its clear, flute-like song, a bold announcement that spring has truly arrived. The forest, so long silent, begins to fill with a chorus of hopeful voices. Rain falls now. Not the freezing rain of winter, but a soft, cool, life-giving spring rain. It washes the last of the winter's grime from the oak's bark and soaks into the thirsty earth, awakening the dormant roots of wildflowers and ferns. The river, at the bottom of the meadow, which had been frozen solid, now breaks free of its icy bonds. The sound of cracking ice and the rush of newly liberated water echoes through the woods. The oak's buds continue to swell, pushed from within by the rising sap. Then, one mild, sunny morning, the first tiny leaves begin to emerge. They are not the broad, tough leaves of summer, but small, delicate, and almost translucent, a tender, pale, yellowish green. They are wrinkled and folded at first, like tiny, clenched fists. Then slowly, they unfurl, reaching out to greet the new spring sun. Within a week, the entire tree is covered in a soft, shimmering haze of new green. The stark, skeletal silhouette of winter is gone, replaced by a softer, more hopeful form. The sunlight filtering through these new, young leaves casts a gentle, luminous green glow on the forest floor. The air itself seems to taste of new life, of fresh growth. Small, furry catkins, the oak's male flowers, dangle from the twigs like tiny, greenish-yellow tassels, releasing clouds of fine, golden pollen into the spring breeze. The female flowers, small and inconspicuous, wait patiently on other parts of the branch to receive this gift. It is a quiet, ancient ritual of renewal. The old oak is fully awake now. It is drinking deeply from the damp spring earth, its new leaves breathing in the fresh, clean air, its entire being suffused with the vibrant, joyful energy of spring. It is a time of rebirth, of new beginnings, of the world shaking off its long sleep and bursting forth with an unstoppable, exuberant life. The forest is alive with sound, with movement, with the scent of flowers and damp soil. And the old oak, its branches filled with new leaves and singing birds, stands at the heart of it all, a benevolent, ancient king presiding over a joyful, awakening kingdom. Spring's tender, vibrant energy slowly, almost imperceptibly, matures into the deep, full, and languid richness of summer. The days are long now. The sun high and warm in the sky, its light strong and insistent. The period of rapid, explosive growth is over. Now is a time of quiet abundance, of fullness, of life at its peak. The old oak stands in its full summer glory. Its leaves, once so small and delicate, have grown broad, strong, and leathery. They are a deep, rich, satisfying green, each one a perfect, tiny solar panel drinking in the sunlight, converting it into life-giving energy through the quiet miracle of photosynthesis. Together, they form a vast, dense canopy, a living roof that stretches high and wide, casting a deep, cool, and inviting shade on the forest floor beneath. This shade is a gift to the creatures of the woods. On hot, still summer afternoons, when the sun beats down relentlessly, the air beneath the oak is noticeably cooler, a refuge from the heat. A doe and her 2 spotted fawns often seek shelter here, lying in the cool, dappled shade, their ears twitching at the buzz of insects. A red fox, its summer coat sleek and less thick, might curl up at the base of the great trunk for a midday nap. The oak's canopy is a world of its own, a bustling, vibrant city of green. Sunlight filters through the layers of leaves, creating a constantly shifting, intricate pattern of light and shadow, a living, breathing kaleidoscope. When the wind blows, the leaves rustle and whisper, a sound like a gentle, endless conversation, or the soft applause of 1,000 tiny green hands. It is the voice of summer in the forest. Life thrives in the oak's branches. A pair of blue jays has built a sturdy nest in a high fork. They're loud. Raucous calls a familiar sound. Squirrels, sleek and agile, chase each other up and down the trunk and out along the high, swaying branches. Their movements a dizzying display of arboreal acrobatics. They are already beginning to gather and store the oak's green, unripe acorns, a sign of their constant, instinctive preparation for the future. Insects are everywhere. Caterpillars, green and fat, munch contentedly on the oak's leaves, their tiny jaws working tirelessly. Beetles, with their iridescent, jewel-like shells, crawl along the rough bark. Bees and butterflies visit the wildflowers that bloom in the sunnier patches at the edge of the oak's shade, their wings a blur of motion. At night, moths with wings like velvet flutter silently through the moonlit leaves. The air hums with the constant, low-level buzz of unseen insect life. The oak itself is a silent, generous host to all this activity. It provides food, shelter, and a place to rest. It is the central pillar of this small forest community. Its roots, still drawing water and nutrients from deep within the earth, anchor it firmly, allowing it to withstand the strong winds of summer thunderstorms. These storms are a dramatic and vital part of the summer rhythm. The sky darkens, the wind rises, and the air becomes heavy and charged. Then the rain comes, not the gentle rain of spring, but a torrential, drumming downpour. Lightning flashes, illuminating the forest in brief, stark moments of brilliant white light, followed by the deep, rumbling growl of thunder that shakes the very ground. The oak stands firm against the deluge, its great branches swaying, its leaves turning their silver undersides to the wind. It channels the rain down its trunk and into the earth, a vital replenishment of the forest's water. After the storm has passed, the air is cool and clean, and the forest floor is dark and damp. The scent of wet earth and leaves filling the air. Every leaf on the oak glistens with clinging raindrops like a million tiny diamonds. The days of summer are long, but they pass in a slow, unhurried rhythm. The oak is in a state of quiet, steady work, its leaves producing the sugars that will fuel its growth and sustain it through the coming winter. It is a time of strength, of maturity, of life lived to its fullest. The tree is a calm, steadfast presence, a living monument in a world that is always changing, always moving, always alive. It stands in the warm summer sun, its roots deep in the cool earth, its branches reaching towards the blue sky. A perfect expression of rootedness and aspiration. It is content. It is complete. Summer is the oak's time of quiet, powerful, and unassuming glory. Summer, with its long, warm days and deep green languor, does not end abruptly. It yields slowly, gracefully, to the cool, crisp, and beautiful embrace of autumn. The change begins subtly, a slight shift in the quality of the light, which becomes softer, more slanted, with a golden, almost melancholic hue. The nights grow noticeably longer, and a new chill creeps into the pre-dawn air. The old oak feels these signals deep within its ancient being. The shortening days and the cooling temperatures trigger a profound internal transformation. The vibrant green chlorophyll in its leaves, which worked so tirelessly through the summer to capture the sun's energy, begins to break down. As the green fades, other pigments, which were there all along but masked by the dominant green, begin to reveal themselves. The change is a slow, magnificent spectacle. It begins with a few leaves, high in the canopy, turning a pale, buttery yellow. Then, day by day, the transformation spreads. More leaves turn yellow, then orange, then a deep, rich russet brown, the colour of old leather or burnished copper. Some leaves develop patches of brilliant, fairy red. The entire tree becomes a tapestry of warm, glowing, autumnal colours, a breathtaking masterpiece painted by the changing season against the clear, deep blue of an autumn sky. The oak is a beacon of fiery beauty. The air now carries the scent of autumn. The smell of dry leaves, of wood smoke from distant fires, of ripe apples and damp earth. The forest floor beneath the oak is carpeted with the first fallen leaves, a soft, rustling, colourful mosaic. When the wind blows, which it does more frequently and with a new, restless energy in autumn, the leaves detach from their branches and drift slowly, gracefully, to the ground, spiralling and dancing in the cool air like a shower of golden rain. The sound is a constant, gentle, whispering rustle, the sound of the forest letting go. The creatures of the woods are busy now, their activities driven by an ancient, urgent instinct to prepare for the coming winter. The squirrels, their coats thicker now, are in a frenzy of activity. They dash up and down the oak's trunk, their cheeks bulging with acorns, which they bury in countless secret caches beneath the fallen leaves. They will rely on these hidden stores to survive the lean months ahead. Many will be forgotten, and from these, new oak seedlings may sprout in the spring. The blue jays, too, are gathering acorns, their harsh calls echoing through the crisp autumn air. They hide them in crevices in the oak's bark, or carry them off to distant hiding places. Deer, their coats now are thicker, darker grey, brown, browse on the fallen acorns, a rich, nutritious food source that will help them build up fat for the winter. Flocks of migrating birds pass overhead, their calls filling the sky as they journey south. The birds that will remain through the winter. The chickadees, the woodpeckers, the owls, are also busy, seeking out sheltered roosting spots and feeding intensely. The old oak is slowly, deliberately, letting go of its leaves. This is not a sign of death, but a vital act of preparation. The broad leaves, so efficient at capturing sunlight in the summer, would be a liability in the winter, catching heavy snow and ice, and losing precious moisture to the dry winter winds. By shedding its leaves, the oak conserves its resources, protects itself from damage, and prepares for its long winter rest. Each leaf falls with its own quiet story. its own unique pattern of descent. The tree is gradually returning its borrowed nutrients to the earth, where they will decompose and enrich the soil, feeding the roots that sustain it. It is a perfect, elegant cycle of giving and receiving. The autumn days grow shorter, the nights colder. The first hard frosts arrive, turning the remaining leaves brittle and even more vibrant in their colour. The forest is a world of breathtaking, transient beauty. The old oak stands in the midst of it all, its branches becoming more visible as the leaves fall, revealing its strong, ancient structure once more. It is a time of transition, of letting go, of preparing for the inevitable return of stillness. Autumn is the oak's season of graceful surrender, of profound and beautiful farewell. The vibrant, fiery pageant of autumn slowly fades. The last of the oak's leaves, now a uniform, deep parchment brown, cling precariously to the branches, rattling like dry paper in the strengthening winds. One by one, they too let go, drifting down to join the thick, soft carpet on the forest floor. The air is consistently cold now, carrying the sharp, clean scent of impending winter. The old oak stands bare once more, its great, dark, gnarled branches stark against a sky that is often a uniform, heavy grey. The intricate network of its twigs and branches, hidden all summer by the dense canopy of leaves, is now revealed in all its complex beauty. It is a skeleton, yes, but a skeleton of immense strength and profound grace. The frantic activity of autumn has subsided. The squirrels have finished their hoarding, and now spend much of their time curled in their leaf-lined nests, high in the tree cavities. The deer are less active, conserving their energy. Most of the migratory birds are long gone. A deep quiet settles over the forest, a silence that is different from the silence of summer's heat or spring's anticipation. It is the silence of waiting, of preparation for a long period of hardship. The final acorns, dislodged by the wind or a climbing squirrel, fall to the ground with a soft thud, quickly disappearing beneath the layer of fallen leaves. The oak has given all it has to give for this year. Its work of growth and reproduction is done. Then, one quiet, overcast afternoon, the first snowflakes of the new winter begin to fall. They are not the fine, dry powder of deep winter, but large, soft, wet flakes that drift down slowly, lazily, from a low, grey sky. They melt at first as they touch the still barely warm earth, but as the temperature drops, they begin to accumulate. They cling to the oak's bare branches, outlining every twig in soft, white velvet. They settle on the forest floor, slowly covering the brown leaves, transforming the world once more into a place of soft, white silence. The old oak receives the snow without resistance. It is a familiar embrace. The weight of the snow is gentle at first, a soft, cold blanket. As more snow falls, the weight increases, but the oak's strong branches are built to withstand it. It has held the weight of 1,000 snowfalls. The days grow shorter still, until the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. The sun is a distant memory, its warmth almost forgotten. The forest is locked in a deep freeze. The river in the meadow below is silent again, its surface a sheet of thick, grey ice. The old oak has returned to its state of deep dormancy. Its life force has retreated once more into its roots, safe beneath the frozen ground. The tiny, hard buds that hold the promise of next spring's leaves are already formed on its twigs, tightly sealed against the cold, waiting. The tree stands as a silent sentinel in the winter landscape. It is a symbol of endurance, of patience, of the quiet, unshakable strength that comes from being deeply rooted in the earth. It is a part of the endless cycle of the seasons, a living testament to the slow, profound, and beautiful rhythms of the natural world. It does not fight the winter. It embraces it. It rests within it. The campfire crackles softly, a sound of warmth in a story of cyclical cold and returning life. The old oak sleeps its deep, winter sleep, its ancient heart holding the memory of all the seasons it has known and the quiet, certain promise of all the springs yet to come. Thank you for wandering with us in the slow world. May your rest be as calm as the ancient forest, and may sleep find you gently.